My life before making $20,000 a month and now coming up on $30,000 a month was absolute shit. It was terrible. I was lonely, didn't have friends, didn't talk to girls. But at the end of the day, that's just what it is, and that's what's necessary to actually get to the level that you want to get to. The second I found online money, I dropped absolutely everything in my life. I quit baseball, stopped working hard in school, didn't really care to, go to my, extended family's house or do anything like that. I just kept to myself in school, and I never texted my friends to hang out again. And ironically, they never texted me. And so, that says a lot about them and that whole thing. But that's just what it was, right? Like, that was just what was necessary at the time. Like, that's just the drive, the sudden spark of motivation that I had. But it got hard and it got lonely. And I realized, like, oh, fuck, like, this is going to be hard to do forever. Or I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know how long I'm not going to be able to talk to other people until I start to actually make money. And you might be watching this right now asking yourself, like, oh, like, why can't you have friends when you're on your come up? Or like, why do you need to be so isolated? Why can't you talk to girls or, go hang out with your friends and get lit on the weekends, yada, yada, yada? Because it's not just the time that it takes of doing it, but it's the effect that it has on your mindset, right? To make $20,000 a month with 18, 19, 20, $25,000 a month, $30,000 a month at 18, 19, 20, you can't be normal. You have to have a different mindset. There has to be something different about you. You can't just be like every other motherfucker, right? So you have extreme beliefs. You have extreme belief in yourself and extreme beliefs in online money or whatever business model you're doing. And everybody else doesn't. The normal people do not. They do not have those beliefs. You do not share those beliefs with those people, right? And so the second that you bring it up and you talk to them and you tell them about what you're doing, all they are going to do is project their insecurities and their disbeliefs onto you. And that's going to infect your brain. And that can infect your brain so much that it knocks you off your path, that you never end up taking action, that you slow down in your goals, that you stop believing in yourself. And that little thing right there, that is the difference between the people that make it and the people that don't, right? The people that do end up making $30,000 a month and the people that don't. That's the difference, is how people let things affect their brain. And that's why I vouch to never even put yourself in that position. Never talk about your goals. And also, everybody says you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around, right? And that is so fucking true. And then a lot of people will be like, oh, well, I don't have 5 friends that are rich to hang around, so I can become rich as well, right? That's not what it's about. It's about not talking to your friends that aren't, on the right path or making a lot of money or doing their thing. It's about not talking to those people and then consuming content like this of the people that are. Right? Of, Alex Hormozi, some of the big dogs, some of the little dogs, some people that might just be a couple steps ahead of you. You want to be consuming their content. Because when you're not talking to anybody else from like the outside world, really, and all you're doing is consuming a couple people's content, you adapt their mindset because that's the only inputs you have in your life. That's the only content you're consuming in your life. So therefore, you adapt their beliefs. You adapt their ways of thinking, right? You become them because you have the exact same mindsets, right? And everything that comes to form in the physical realm starts in the mental. So if you adopt everything about these people's mindset, right, and you actually put the work in towards it, why would you not be able to accomplish the same things that they were able to? It's that simple. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, and that's why you can't be hanging around with fucking morons, right? Which is typically your friends. It's most people's friends. That's just kind of what it is. And so you need to isolate yourself. You cannot talk to them, right? You cannot let them infect your brain because that's what's going to knock you off your path. That's what's going to make you just like them, which you've already established to yourself that you don't want to be like them, right? And no hate to your friends, but that's just what it is. It's just the reality of the world. So you need to be consuming the content of people that you want to be like, and those should be the only inputs of information going into your head. And nobody's ever going to understand you, right? Like, I can't even begin to talk about just like, my journey was genuinely so fucking, like, bro, that shit sucked, bro. Like, there were a lot of times, bro, where, like, I just didn't have anybody to talk to, right? It was just me, late nights in my room, doing something that I never knew. I was never certain if it was going to work out, right? It's just uncertainty. That's what it is. And that shit was hard, right? Like, every single night, like I said, not talking to my friends, not talking to anybody, like literally just you for months, right? That's the hard thing, is that it's for months. Anybody can do that shit for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months. But what happens when it's 6 months? What happens when it's 9 months? Maybe even a year for some people, right? Because everybody's timeline is different from the point that they start to the point they actually start making money, right? And once you start making money, you attract other people like that. So you're now able to go out and talk about things a little more, and you can actually have more fun, and you don't have to be as fucking lonely. But when you're in that grind stage, for everybody, it's different. Everybody's timeline is different, and nobody's going to understand you. Every single person that you try to talk to from now on, ever since you start trying to pursue online business, your conversations will never be the same. Because like the things you actually want to say, the things you actually want to talk about, you're not able to talk about, right? Because all they will try and do is shut you down, knock off your beliefs, be like, what the fuck? How do you think you're going to be able to make 10K a month at 17, 18? That you're going to be able to make 30K a month, 50K a month at 18, 19, 20? It's like, bro, people just don't see it, right? Like, I'm in a C8 right now, right? And it's like, people just never saw that. Like, if I told them when I was 16 I was going to drop a C8 by the time I graduated high school, they'd be like, the fuck? Like, yeah, sure, right? But that's the point, is like, they don't understand, and they're not supposed to. If they understood, then they would do it, and then they would be there themselves, and everybody would be there themselves. So that's why you can't talk to people like that. It just doesn't work. So nobody's going to understand you. Nobody's ever going to understand where you're coming from. And there's so many different times that this happened along my journey. Like, Conversations with my brothers, just low-key talking shit. My dad, 100% just talking shit. I could not talk to my dad barely at all when I was on my come up because he would just piss me off. He would just say some shit that would piss me off, whether it was about college, whether it was about, oh, I never should have quit baseball, I should have went back to school. It would just piss me off because I knew he was wrong. Now, that fueled the fire to actually go and prove him wrong, but I couldn't do it. It just pissed me off. Every single time we talked, we would pretty much fucking argue. It was just ass. So I couldn't even really talk to him. And I didn't even really care because I knew what I wanted deep down. Like, I knew that that's what I wanted. I knew that that's just a sacrifice that I had to make in order to get there, and I was willing to do it. But a lot of people aren't willing to do it, and they say they will, but then they're actually faced with that decision, and they're not able to make it. So that's just like one little example of what it was like, right? But like, just everybody, bro. People always making fun of me. I do TikTok shop, right? So my videos are fucking all over the place. People making fun of me, yada, yada, yada. And it was like, yeah, like whatever. Like, it was just shitty. Like, I had nobody to talk to about it. People would just talk shit, then I would just go home and go back to doing my thing, especially because I was in high school at the time too when I was posting these videos, getting tens of millions of views. You know, eventually I started to hit 20K months, like when I was in high school, like October of 2024, so I didn't give a fuck. I started to not give a fuck, but up until that point, it was just hard, bro. Like, it's lonely, nobody's there for you, nobody's there with you, nobody's there to talk about it, nobody even understands what the fuck you're saying when you're talking about online business. And the people that just yap to their parents and everybody and their godmother about online business are the people that don't make it, bro. I promise you, because you get the same satisfaction of telling somebody you're going to do it as you do as if you just actually did it. You get the same satisfaction from talking about it than just doing it. And so why would you go out and do the hard work, take the real action that's required to win, when you could just talk about it and feel the same way, right? So that's why a lot of people, like, they're just in the fucking trenches, bro. And like, they just keep yapping about it. They're like, oh, it doesn't have to be that lonely, bro. I talk to people about it all the time. Yeah, let's see where you are in 6 months, right? Because you just get those same feelings, the same emotions. All you want to do is yap. You don't ever actually want to put in any work. When you're actually putting in work, you'll see what I'm talking about is when you talk to people about your goals or about your problems or about what you're going through, they don't fucking understand. Not do they not understand, but like, they also don't care. Nobody cares about you. Nobody should care about you as much as they care about themselves. And that's just the reality of the world. You have to care about yourself more than anybody else cares about you. And that's just what it is. And so you have to protect your thoughts. You have to protect your beliefs because that's the only thing that's keeping you working towards this goal. And if you protect your beliefs for long enough, and you continue to confirm those beliefs, you will eventually get to that point to where it's like you don't need confirmation of your beliefs anymore. Your beliefs are just your beliefs, but you only get there from getting results, right? Because you have all these beliefs that, like I said, you can do all these crazy things with your life. You know, you can have a CA in high school. You can make 20, 30K a month at 18, 19, right? You have all these beliefs, but it's never been confirmed by anything. The only thing that confirms them is real results. Right now, you just have speculation of whether it works, right? And you might see people like me or other people that are doing even better than me, right? You might see people like that, but it's still not a confirmation of your beliefs, right? And so what you need is you just need results, and it takes time to get there, and that's just what it is. And then also just touching on girls, right? Girls just makes you fucking lazy. Like, just don't even, it's just like, why even talk to females like that? As fucking dumb as that sounds. And this is so corny, but it's just like, genuinely, they just make you lazy, bro. A lot of times it'll just knock you off your path and you don't even realize. So many people, they try and convince themselves that they can run it up with the girlfriend, bro. And it's like, it's literal statistics. You can look up some statistics of dudes that actually end up like running up a bag like while in a relationship, but they are much lower if you have a girlfriend, right? You know, they make you want to watch movies and shit, and that's just not what you need in the moment. And they're also just going to try and talk you out of that, right? Like girlfriends, your mom, like they all want you to take the safe route, right? So they're going to be yapping in your ear, yada, 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 yada. You should just do this, just do this, just do this. Why are you trying to do all that? And you just get distracted, right? You're busy watching movies when you should be making content, working on your business, fucking scaling freelance brands for free, whatever, right? You should be doing all that different shit, but now you're just, you know, sitting there cold watching a movie. And I've seen multiple like relationships like ruin some of my friends' lives, bro. Like literally, they're just never the same person since then. It made them lazy and fat. Like, well, yeah, like relationship. Wait, why do you think that shit's a real thing, bro? Bro, relationship fucking brokenness. I don't know if there's a name for that, but motherfuckers be getting poor as fuck. Not because of the $200 a month you spend on your girlfriend, but just because of the time that it takes away from actually money-making activities, right? So that's just kind of my opinion on it. Like, I've never been in a long-term relationship, and there's a reason for that. Like, I just don't. I'm not saying I've never had, you know, I've never gone out and had a good time. That's not what I'm saying. But I've never been in a long-term relationship because I believe that it just takes too much away from my goals, and so it's never something that I wanted to do. I would tell girls that I was going to ask them out, you know, soon, and then I just never would, and then we would just end up never talking. But that was more before I started online business. Once I started online business, I was like, okay, yeah, that shit's like kind of fucking stupid, and I just completely stopped even being interested in it. Like, I didn't talk to a single female for months. Like, months, bro. Oh my God, that shit was ass. Didn't talk to a single female for months. Like, now I'm more cool, like, I'll have some fun. But like I said, it's because I have results now, and like, I'm able to go out and have more fun and not be affected by the things that people say to me nearly as much because I know what I'm doing, and they know that I know what I'm doing. And so they just don't even have that much of an opinion on it. But before then, right, when I didn't have results, Didn't even talk to a single girl, straight up. It's just not fucking worth it, bro. Like, simply put, you just gotta kind of value like what you actually want in life, and I feel like that should make the decision for you. And if you end up making the wrong decision, then it looks like you never actually, ended up wanting to do it in the first place or wanting to make money for real in the first place. So that's just what it is. But yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on that because that's a big thing for y'all. And now I want to touch on like your goal, right? Yes, you want to start making money. You want your results to confirm your beliefs. But also once you start making money, you want to document your journey online, right? You want to just pick up a camera just like I am right now, document your journey. And that's where you'll meet people, right? Invest in yourself, get into communities, get into different things. Like genuinely, I paid $3,000 to get into this, to get help with, scaling my business. And it was like a, like an info offer. I paid $3,000, got some help with my business, and now they're my boys, and I'm literally moving in with them in 4 days, and we're, moving into a penthouse. So pretty good fucking investment to me, even if they didn't even give me any value outside of just like us being boys now. It's like it's not like I paid for fucking friends. I mean, I essentially did, but it's like we just never would have gotten connected without it. So that's the thing. And also just document your journey. Like people will find you and you'll start to become known. Like it's just genuinely how that shit works. Like start documenting your journey once you start getting to the money a little bit. And that's how you can actually break out of that lonely phase and finally start to meet people that you actually like fuck with. And it just compounds, brother. Once you meet one person, you meet them, you meet this, you meet that. And it's just like, now you just have a whole like big ass friend group. You got a ton of different friends you can talk to about any problem you have and just yap, and it's just like, it's the best fucking feeling. And the moral of the story is just be okay with loneliness, uncertainty, having no one to talk to, late nights in your room, because I promise you that it's just the price required to actually get to the point that you want to get to. And once you get there, you will realize that the reward was 10 times the price you paid. It's so fucking worth it. So I'll try to drop a little bar on y'all real quick, but it's so fucking worth it. So that's just the moral of the story. I want to tell you guys, like, be okay with being lonely. It is what it is. It's actually required. It's necessary to be isolated and lonely for a while you're trying to come up and make money, so you can actually form your own fucking beliefs, which, like I said, I already went over a million times, but it's very fucking important, y'all. But yeah, if you guys are curious as to what I do to be able to afford my lifestyle and stuff, like I said, I'm moving into a penthouse in a couple days, and I was able to buy this car, like just some cool shit. Like I don't know, I try to be like a real ass motherfucker, but I do TikTok shop. So if you guys want to get into it, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post a ton of different shit about TikTok shop, and I'm also going to start doing vlogs, more videos like this. And I post on TikTok and Instagram too. So you guys can follow me on Instagram down below there too if you guys want to get started with TikTok shop. And yeah, that's what I do. But yeah, boys, I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm on that fucking YouTube grind. So I'll see you guys in a couple days, probably.